Hello, Articulation here, and welcome to my review of the SH Figuarts Obito Uchiha. And I know you already reviewed this figure, DK. I know, but this is something I've been wanting to do for a while now. Is re-review a few figures that have reviews, but I'm just not that happy with. This is by far the biggest example of that. For those of you who don't know, if you've never seen my original Obito review, do not watch it. It's terrible. It's one of my least favorite videos I've ever made because, and it's understandable why it is, because I made that review and I bought that figure before I knew anything about this character. So naturally, I sounded like a complete idiot and a buffoon the entire review. And he is literally one of my all-time favorite characters in all of anime, and possibly my favorite villain character in all of anime, in stiff competition with Yoshikage Kira from JoJo Part 4. So it's time to do my boy right and give him the review that he deserves. Most likely, once I put this up, I'm going to remove the old review from the playlist, but leave it on the channel just in case you guys want to like compare them, but highly recommend just pretend like that old review just doesn't exist anymore. I am super excited about this. However, before we jump into this, I do want to give a very quick spoiler warning for this review. Now, in all honesty, this figure's existence alone is a massive spoiler for the series, but if you have not watched Naruto yet, please don't watch this video because I will be spoiling massive things about the series in this review. Do not watch this video if you don't know anything about Naruto because I do not want to spoil any of the absolutely god tier moments of this series. I also wanted to say this, another reason why I've decided to come and do this, and I do plan on re-reviewing another figure from the Naruto line that I'm also not too happy with the original review with. I think there's only two though, the rest of them I'm pretty happy with. Is because, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be the year of Naruto. Not only do we have a whopping 5 SH Figuarts releases scheduled to come out this year, we also have a very high possibility of finally seeing the 4 episodes that Period has been teasing us with for so long. The 4 brand new episodes of the original series, which, if it happens, I will be ecstatic. And also, Boruto 2 Blue Vortex manga is going to start releasing the physical volumes this year, which means a ton more people, myself included, are finally going to be able to see what Ikimoto has taken the franchise with, and I, for one, am ecstatic for it. So, this is absolutely going to be the year of Naruto, and we're, of course, also very soon going to be taking a look at the SH Figuarts Pain as well, so let's just get to it, man. We got Sage Mode on the way, we've got Pain on the way. It's time to get into some Naruto greatness. And with that being said, let's jump into the review and take a look at the box. So, of course, we have the awesome Naruto-style picture right there of the figure. We have the Tamashii Nation seal of approval. We have Bandai, Tamashii Nation's Naruto Shippuden. We've got Obito Uchiha, Hollow Dreams of Despair. On the side, we have an awesome picture of Obito about to unleash a jutsu on Kakashi. We have Obito Uchiha in Japanese, I imagine. On the back, we have a ton of product shots showing you a bunch of different ways you can display him, and also showing you the included Sage Mode Naruto face that was actually a thing before the Sage Mode Naruto figure was even a thing. Caution, warning, Bandai Namco. On the other side, we have another awesome picture of him with the mask on right there. Very cool. And Obito Uchiha, Hollow Dreams of Despair. And with that being said, let's get into it. Oh, and real quick, before we get into Obito, I wanted to show you guys this as well. My dad got me this as a present recently. Naruto, the official character data book. This thing is really cool. So you can just open it up and you can go to any character in the entire series and it gives you like a rundown on them, like a little bit of things about them. You got the stats right there as well. How cool is this? Like there's Rock Lee. And then at the front here, we also have some of the iconic scenes recreated with color right there from the Kazekage Rescue right there. We've got Hidan and Kakazu right there. Absolutely amazing. Datara up there as well. Ooh, and Sasori as well. Basically just the first 50 episodes of Shippuden encompassed right there. And then we also have, of course, if you're a Naruto fan, you don't need any explanation for this picture right here. And then one more, another awesome picture of Hebi or Taka right there with the Akatsuki looming in the back right there. Super duper cool. I love this. Thanks, Dad. And here we have Obito Uchiha in his outfit from the 4th Great Shinobi War. Now, I already threw a spoiler rounding out there, so you guys know we're going all spoilers right here. As much as I love this figure and I love this outfit, I do really hope that someday, maybe even sometime soon, we can get another version of Obito from, of course, the first half of Shippuden, where he is disguised in the Akatsuki robe with the, of course, iconic Toby mask. I would love it if we could get one of those. That would be truly, truly awesome. And to be honest, this figure is not absolutely perfect. It is, of course, the Naruto line, so it is mostly perfect, but there is a few things I can point to in this figure that are kind of problematic that could maybe be fixed in an eventual Toby figure. But with that being said, let's jump into the review. And of course, start off with that glorious face sculpt right there. And they knocked it out of the park. The likeness to Obito is absolutely phenomenal here. You can see, of course, this side of his face all ruined from when he gets destroyed by the rocks right there. You got the Rinnegan on this side, the Sharingan on this thing. All three Tomoes right there. The super spiky hair right there. His very, like, long face. Very signature to his character. Looks absolutely phenomenal, man. So cool how we have most of the Uchihas already. Of course, we still need a new Madara, and I know a lot of people want Shisui as well, myself included, of course, but yeah, so cool that we already have most of the Uchihas already. Really cool. You have the little collar right there, which is really awesome. You can see the beautiful little inner lining right there for the actual material right there, the little black in there as well. Super nicely done. And then, of course, you can see, of course, it is his 4th grade Shinobi War outfit, and you can see we have the tear on this side, and this side is all good. So this happens right before they start right before he starts fighting with Naruto and Kakashi. He loses this arm right here. So he actually has both of the sleeves totally intact throughout most of the time he has this outfit. But right before he gets revealed, he loses this sleeve right here, which is going to come into play when we talk about the accessories later on. But I did want to briefly mention it now. But yes, I do love how this looks right here. You can see how they've done the little tear right there with the arm right there. And you can see that awesome piece right there. And I will say it does benefit because this arm gets significantly less poseability than this one right here. This one's got that full double jointed bend. This one can only get about 90. So that is really nice. And I will say this, actually we'll save that for articulation as well, but this looks super good. The torn fabric right there, and of course the gloves right there as well. And of course on the other side right here as well. I believe you could get a third-party soft goods if you wanted to. Maybe someday I might, because I do want to get a second copy of this figure eventually for reasons I'm going to state later on in this video. And maybe I might try and see how one of those third-party soft goods upgrades would do for this guy, because I think that would be an interesting thing to test out and obviously maybe do a video on as well. But I do love how this looks right there, even if it does really hinder the articulation. The belt piece right here is really awesome. The little knife in the back there, I think that's what that is, but you know, there's that cool little piece back there what I really like. Of course, the Uchiha symbol right there looking absolutely amazing. The whole belt right there, and then moving down to the robe section right there, it is absolutely awesome. You can see the nice coloring right there for that, and then of course the inside as well. And it is that 3 separate piece right there, and it is really cool how they did this. I actually really like this, and I do think this is superior to how they did on Minato, because with Minato, of course, it's always like swooped out here, but this, you can make it look fairly natural. Like this, it looks like it's sitting completely natural, but if you want to put him in crazy action poses, you can like bring these out and just kind of like hang them up on that middle piece right there, and that kind of gives it the same look that Minato has right there, which I really like. Now for articulation, this is where this figure does kind of lose a little bit of steam, but it's still mostly really great. But the collar right here does kind of hinder the head a little bit, but he does have a ball joint at the neck right there, so he can get a ton of up right there and a really good amount of down as well. And then you have some nice side to side right there and some rotation as well, which is really nice. The torso movement's actually pretty darn good on him. Not bad at all. He actually has a pretty decent amount of crunch right there, thanks to the 2 joints right there in the torso. Now this arm over here, of course, he's going to have a little bit less articulation than this one, but you can go up that much and he can get about a little bit over a 90-degree bend right there at that arm. And I don't think there's a ball joint at that forearm right there. Actually, there is a ball joint at that forearm right there. So that is very nice. So that is some extra poseability right there, similar to the dual Zangetsu Ichigo. And then the hand, of course, is on that hinge with the ball joint right there. So really nice. So you can get up and down, and you can move it and get side to side as well. But on this arm over here, he can get that much, quite a bit more, as you can see there, quite a bit more than this arm. Actually, no, it is about the same amount. I just wasn't pushing that much. But with this one, you can get that full double jointed bend right there, which is really awesome. Now, one thing I wanted to say about this guy, because this is a problem I had with him a lot when I first got him for like the first couple months I had him, is he always looks like this, like his arm is like this, and you're like, man, I wish he could go more further down, and like you get like this. But what you can do is if you use those butterflies, you can like bring it up right there, and you can get it really close to his torso right there. So same with this one. Usually it will be like this or like this. It's weird. It's a lot easier on my copy because I've done it so much, but like you can see like this, it can't go down. All you need to do is shift that piece up up, and then you can bring this all the way down and have it laying completely flat against his torso right there, which is really, really, really nice. Moving down to the legs, of course, these pieces are going to get a little bit in the way of the articulation, but not that much. You can still get his legs all the way forward right there. Really, really, really nice. You can get them all the way back as well. Not bad at all. Well, not all the way back, but pretty good amount of back right there. Really, really good. And then you have the double jointed bend right there at the knee. Now, this is where that soft goods cape or cloak may have came in handy, because obviously you're not going to be able to get like those perfect pose abilities because you also have all this extra stuff in the way as well, but you can still get some pretty decent action poses right there. But this is another reason why I do think a Toby or an Akatsuki version of Obito would be really, really, really welcome, because it would probably be a lot more fun to pose, because obviously he would have the cloak, the cloth Akatsuki robe, just like Itachi and Pain, and that would be a big thing. Now, I do know some people have taken to making their own Toby by taking this figure. You can remove these pieces right here. You can kind of disassemble them, remove these pieces right here, and then get either a third-party Akatsuki cape or take one of the existing ones and put him on this, and then you'll need a custom Toby head sculpt or mask right there. So you could do it, but I really do think eventually we will get an official SH Figuarts one, but I do really like the poseability on the legs right here. And then you also, of course, have that extra ball joint right there at the foot, which allows you to get a ton of ankle pivot utilizing the ankle pivot and the ball joint, and then you have beautiful up, beautiful down, and a beautiful toe pivot or toe joint right there. So amazing articulation overall. I've had this guy for, I think, a year at this point. If you were to look at the original review, I'm pretty sure it's been like a year since I had this guy. And I'll admit, he's not my go-to Naruto figure to pose because of this extra pieces right here and the fact that this arm right here only gets a little over a 90 degree. It does make him a little bit more difficult to get him in those poses. And he also does have some really nice butterfly. I should have also pointed that out as well. I love this figure. I should make very clear that I absolutely love this figure, just like I love every single one of the Naruto line. The Naruto line is my favorite action figure line of all time. But this is one of the ones that I don't find myself posing all that much. Still a lot more than like probably most SH Figuarts I buy, because I mean, it's still really satisfying. And of course, the plastic quality, forget about it, man. It's the Naruto line. It's absolutely god tier. It feels so fluid, so smooth. I've had him for a year. Nothing has broken. There are signs of it, though. I guess we'll just go over this right now. I've talked about this multiple times in the past, but this guy, as well as Kakashi, has really, really scared me because he has these hand pegs right here with these big old stress marks. Now, this looks a lot worse on mine, because this is what you're seeing right here is not actually all just stress mark. There is a stress mark under there, but that's actually super glue. Not because this broke, but because I saw those stress marks there and I was so scared and did not want the figure to break that I actually put a little bit of super glue right there to hopefully reinforce it and make sure those pegs never break. And it's the same on both sides right here, because these hands out of the box, much like the SHF Deku, are very, very, very tight. Now, luckily, they didn't like immediately break on you, so you can catch it. And not only did I do that where I reinforced that, but I also carved out. I just took a knife and I just carved out a little bit right there, just to take that plastic out a little bit, so it's a little bit easier to take them off and on of the figure. Now, I will say, if you do this, make sure if you do this, it's totally up to you whether you do this, but make sure you don't take off too much. You want it to the point where it goes on and it has a decent snug to it, but it also is easy enough to pop off to where it doesn't cause any stress on the figure. And of course, be absolutely 100% careful whenever you're using a sharp object. And but yes, that is one thing I do want to point out about this Obito, but I do feel like it is mostly fixable. Like, that goes on and off a lot easier than it used to, and I really don't feel like I'm gonna have any breakage problems in the end. But this is one of the reasons why I do kind of eventually want to pick up an extra figure, just to have one as a backup in case something does break with this, because I love this figure, and the Naruto line is so sacred to me. So, you know, if something were to break on this, I would want to have an extra one just in case, but I haven't gotten around to doing that just yet. But eventually, I probably will. And I don't even know if the super glue really helps at all, but it makes me feel a little bit better. So you can do that too if you want to. But with that being said, let's get into the comparisons. And of course, let's start off with his partner, Kakashi Hatake. And they look amazing together. Of course, they went with this design for Obito because this is the exact design that he has in his legendary fight with Kakashi in the 4th Great Shinobi War. And I love it. It looks absolutely amazing. But I will say that is going to come to bite us a little bit later on when we start talking about accessories. But we'll get into that when we get to it. This looks amazing. They scale absolutely perfect together. You can see the heads are like perfectly scaled, perfectly sized, all the limbs, everything. They look absolutely perfect together. Like, let's just move them off to the side here so we can bring in their sensei here. There they are with Minato. And of course, we still need that Rin figure. It would be so cool if eventually we got that Rin figure. I don't know how they could do it, but it would still be super duper cool if they did do it eventually. Obviously, there's a ton more characters I would want over Rin, but it would be cool if eventually somehow we got it. Even if it's like a premium Bandai exclusive or something, it would be super cool. And I mean, the Naruto line slaps so hard as long as it's just as good as the other kid figures, like the kid Naruto and the kid Sasuke. I mean, a kid Rin or a kid Obito would be awesome. You could put them in like a 2-pack or whatnot. They'd still be super duper fun to pose and whatnot. That's just the glory of the Naruto line after all. So I personally would absolutely love to get a Rin, but they look absolutely amazing together right here. You can see they scale absolutely perfect together. It's the Naruto line. It's the absolute tits, man. God, I love this line. Oh my God, just reviewing this figure and seeing all this stuff all again is just reminding me why this line is the literal greatest fucking thing ever. And God, I can't wait to get paid. And everybody else, but now let's bring in some fellow Akatskis. There is Itachi right there, and they look amazing together, and Orochimaru over there as well. And oh my God, the Naruto line, man, it leaves me speechless in every single way, shape, and form. Look at these freaking things. They're just so damn good. And yeah, they scale and look absolutely perfect together. Just wait till we have Pain in here as well. Oh my God. I can't even sleep right now. I can't wait for Pain. But to finish off the Naruto line comparisons, let's take Orochimaru out of there and bring in our final Uchiha that we have at the moment, Sasuke. And there is our Uchiha lineup so far, looking absolutely glorious. Cannot wait to get that new Madara. And again, Shisui would be awesome as well. Just everybody. Just make fucking everybody, man. And now so you can get a good sense of how Obito's size, let's go ahead and compare him with some other SHFs. Here is Obito compared to the SH Figuarts Deku and Dual Zangetsu Ichigo. Here he is with Sukuna and Makima. Here he is with Denji and Gojo. And last but not least, here he is with the amazing Yamaguchi, Satellite Shooting Star Yusei Fudo, and the Studio Series Galvatron. And it's time for my favorite part of the review, the accessories. And of course, as always, let's start off with the faces. So of course, in the package, we have the amazing standard stoic default face. I love it. It looks awesome, and it perfectly captures Obito's attitude for 90% of the time he was on screen, of course, especially this version of Obito, man. If we got a kid Obito, we're obviously going to need a lot of smiling faces, but this version of Obito, man, it was pretty much nothing but despair. Which was the entire point, so good job, Kishimoto. But for our alternate faces, first off, embodying that amazing childhood wonder that he used to have right there with a little smile right there, although this is, you know, a lot more devious and sinister looking than how he looked when he was a kid, but again, perfectly captures the likeness of the character and his personality. Just absolutely love it, man, and you can see he's got the Kamui going on over here on this side, and of course, the Rinnegan on that side. Beautiful. The only face I don't much care for is this one, this kind of Gur one. Similar to Itachi, I just don't really feel like these expressions really work for these characters. I can still see Obito's likeness in here, and I could still see you creating a pose with this, especially if you were going to use it against, when you're recreating his fight with Kakashi. But overall, this just doesn't really scream Obito to me. Still decent though. And the last face you get is a Fireball Jutsu face right here, again with Kamui going right there as well, which is really, really cool. But of course, in order to use this, you're of course going to need the Fireball Jutsu effect from the Kid Sasuke right here. So if you want to use this, you're going to need the Kid Sasuke, which is a great figure, so no big deal. Now for hands, of course, we've got fists on in the packaging, and we've got a pair of splayed out grabby hands. We've got a pair of pointing hands. Of course, we've got a pair of jutsu hands. We've got a combined jutsu hand. And we've got a pair of holding hands. Now to switch off the faces, it's pretty darn basic. Of course, you just need to pop off the fringe right there. It is a little spiky, but not that big a deal. Pop off the face. This is a little bit tough because it does go on in quite a few spots. You've got 2 pegs right there and then 2 pegs right there. So 4 pegs in total. You need to get out of there. Then take whichever face you want to put on right there. Plug that on and then reattach the fringe right there, and boom, there you go. Very, very easy to switch out. The hands, of course, like I showed earlier, they are just on ball joints. Like I said, be careful with them. Do what you got to do to make sure they do not break. If you need to use hot water to heat to make them more malleable or whatnot, make sure you do it. You don't want to break your very expensive and nice Obito figure. So you can just pop those on right there. I will say, I think I might have dug these ones out a little bit too much because you can see they go on a little bit too easy, but honestly, I'd rather that than them break, so I'm okay with it. And finally, the last accessory that you get for this version of Obito is you get the hands with the knives coming out from the Hashirama cells, of course, from when he is fighting Kakashi, which is really, really, really cool. I love that they included these right here. Very, very nice. They are a little bit scary when you're changing them, of course, because when you pop them on, you obviously are going to be like hesitant to, oh god, why is it not coming off? There we go. You're gonna be hesitant, of course, because you're gonna be like pushing on this, and you're gonna be like pushing on that blade, so it's gonna be like, oh, is it gonna break? But just be very, very careful with it. Like I said, if you want to, heat it up or whatnot, or dig that out a little bit, you can get those on right there. It is just a little scary. I really hope that if we do get that Toby, that they will reinforce those hand pegs and make them a lot better. I feel like the hand pegs in the more recent Naruto figures have been a lot better. I haven't really seen like stress marks in any of the recent ones. So yeah, I really hope they can improve those when we eventually get a Toby. And that right there pretty much does it for this version of Obito. But included with this figure, you also get the pieces to recreate his version from when he is antagonizing the various villages of the various nations to instigate the 4th Great Shinobi War. So you get the mask, and of course you get his fan from when he's posing as Madara right there, which is really, really, really cool. And of course, in order to use these, all you need to do is just pop off this head right there. The neck is going to come off as well, and then you pop this on right here. Now, and just pop that on just like that. And then with the fan, of course, you get the chain right here. And with the chain, what you need to do is you need to come to the arm right here, and you can see you have a little peg hole right there, and you just need to attach the chain into that peg hole right there, then bring in the fan and just slip that in his arm, bring that down just like that, use those joints, and then take this section of the chain and plug that into the handle right there. And there you go. Now you can recreate his look from when he is antagonizing the various nations right there, getting ready for the 4th Great Shinobi War. When, of course, he is posing as Madara. So essentially with this, you get a second version of the character right here. So you can either recreate his look from his fight with Kakashi, or you can recreate his look when he is pretending to be Madara right here in the later half of Shippuden. Which is very, very, very cool. However, I do want to say something about this. I'm not trying to hate on this. I really do like the inclusion to give him these extra accessories, and it does make it a more enticing and worthwhile purchase. All it does is improve the bang for your buck here. But I will say this, it's not accurate, because when he looks like this, he has both of the sleeves from the robe right there. So the sleeve being ripped on this side is inaccurate. It would have been really cool if they could have included a second arm like this that you could put on this side to fully recreate that look. But no, all you get is just this. But it's still really cool. This is a very minor little nitpick. I know, it's not that big of a deal. I just wanted to point it out because, it's a review and I wanted to point these things out. But I do really like that they did this. Although I gotta talk about this. So this is just gonna be a fun little thing. Like I said, I think I might have digged these out a little bit too much. Like I said, I might need to pick up a new Obito. But I want to talk about this real quick because it's gonna be funny. I'm about to go off on my favorite series for a second here. In my original review of Obito, I talked about how I think these fans are so cool, and I talked about how I'd seen them before. My sister has a Madara statue that is absolutely awesome, and I was like, these fans, I cannot wait to see how they use these fans in a fight. What is the deal with these? Do they fight with them? Do they have some kind of special jutsu or something? And if you've seen the show, then you know what I'm about to say right now. They don't fucking use them! These things literally do nothing in the series. They just carry them around for absolutely no fucking reason. Even Madara carries around this and the giant scythe, and he never, ever, even once uses the damn things. Every time Madara shows up, he just instantly goes Susanoo. Even in the Shinobi Alliance Massacre, you know, one of the greatest scenes in the history of anime, he doesn't use these damn things at all. He doesn't have them, of course, so it's fair, but he doesn't use them. What is the point of having a weapon this cool and never fucking using it? It's just to look cool, I guess, huh? I was legit so fucking upset. I'm not even gonna lie to you guys. I want to point out a few things. So if you really, really want to, because of course, one thing that Obito did a lot when he was posing as Madara is he actually wore the fan on his back right there. Now, you don't get any official way to do this. You can't like attach it to the back in any official way, but one time I did get a little bit brave, and I put some double-sided sticky tape on the back here, and then I attached it on like that. And that worked out pretty decently, and you can see I did eventually end up taking that off, and nothing really happened. Like, the fan is still okay, everything down here is still okay, like, pretty much nothing happened. The figure came out of it unscathed, but it's up to you whether you want to do that. You could also maybe do blue tack, that may be a little bit safer, but it is possible to have him holster it on the back, which does look really, really cool, but unfortunately no official way to do it. I will say this, another thing that I also had kind of problems with when I was like posing this figure, because obviously I've had this guy for a long time, is because of the fact that he only has a 90-degree bend at this joint. It's really difficult to get him in jutsu poses with this hand, or this arm rather. It's really, really easy to get the jutsu poses with this arm. This arm can do it because obviously it's got that full double jointed bend right there, so he can get those awesome Kamui poses really, really, really easily with this arm. But this one, it's a lot more difficult right there. Now, of course, this is kind of the design of the figure right there, but still, I did want to point it out because it is, yeah, you can see it doesn't really get enough bend right there to get that. And it's even more of a problem if you want to use the combined jutsu hand. I remember I used this a grand total of one time, and it took me fucking forever to make it look good. And I just don't think I'll ever use it again with this version of Obito right there. So the articulation is just a little bit weaker on this than I feel it is for most of the SHF Naruto releases. Reality just keeps cruelly moving ahead. Oh, and another thing I also want to show real quick before we jump into the final thoughts is that if you want to give him a different weapon besides the fan or the hand blades right here, you can pop on the gripping hand right here, and if you have either of the Kid Naruto or Kid Sasuke, you have this kunai. This kunai can actually separate at the handle right there. This is not something the Shippuden kunai can do, but because of this, you can actually slide this into his hand. It's a little bit of a tight fit, but just get that in there, plug this right there, boom, and there you go. Now you can have him holding a kunai as well. So just another nice option that you can take advantage of if you want to. Also, you get an included Sage Mode Naruto face for your Shippuden Naruto. Of course, now that we actually have an SH Figuarts Sage Mode Naruto that has all the different expressions, this is less useful, but I am excited for when I get my Sage Mode Naruto review, and I do my review. I am excited to check this one out on that figure as well, but it does allow you to get a little bit of Sage Mode going on right here with your basic Shippuden release or the Naruto Top 99 one in this case. Plus, if you wanted to, you could go on eBay and get a third-party kit for your original one to go with this, and then you would have the full Sage Mode complete right there without having to buy a whole nother figure. But I personally am ecstatic for the SH Figuarts Sage Mode Naruto that is on the way to me right now, and I am planning on making a very, very good review on it, so stay tuned. So, final thoughts on the SH Figuarts Obito Uchiha. Honestly, y'all, when I sat down to make this review, I thought I was going to have more complaints with this figure than I ended up having. But over the course of the review, I have just realized that the Naruto line is just untouchable, man. This figure is glorious, man. I remember my original review, I bought this figure solely because I thought he looked cool. And I remember in the review saying stuff like, I hope I like this guy when I get to him. And here we are a year later, and it's my favorite series of all time, and he is literally one of my favorite villains in all of anime, and he's also a top 10 favorite anime character of mine as well. Like, the power of Naruto, man. This figure is absolutely glorious. I absolutely love it. Honestly, the only problem I have with it is the fact that the hand pegs are just a little bit scary. But if you can fix them up, be careful with them at first. Make sure that they're not going to break. Of course, fix them up like I gave you all the methods in this video. Be very careful when you do it, but it will make the figure a lot more pleasant, a lot more of a fun experience, and the accessories are great as well. The ability to turn him into when he's posing as Madara is awesome. I do love the mask and the fan right there as well, and even the chain. You can totally use the chain as well for some cool poses as well if you're like super duper dedicated to it. It's gonna be a pain in the ass because obviously there's no bendy wire in it. It's literally a metal chain, which is awesome, but if you want to have him like using it against Kakashi in a pose, it's gonna take some finagling, but you might be able to make it work. It's just awesome, man. It's a great figure of an amazing, amazing character, and it's just yet another near perfect figure in the SH Figuarts Naruto line, man. Yeah, absolutely freaking immaculate. And with that being said, thank you everybody so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, maybe give me a like, subscribe for some more SH Figuarts reviews in the future. Of course, we have Pain on the way. We have Sage Mode Naruto on the way. We got Tsunade, Shikamaru, Hinata all coming this year. And I've got plenty more Naruto greatness coming your way this year as well. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. And with that being said, thank you all so much for watching this video. And this is DK Guillotine. Signing out.